Hey guys, very predictable. Iran tapped out today. They essentially tapped. Earlier in the day, I was busy working, and one of my sons texted me, "Man, Iran's attacking a military base of ours in Qatar." I'm like, "Don't worry about it. This is predictable. They have to save face. I'm sure they coordinated with us." He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So I pulled over. I did my research, and like I said, I read things that most people don't read. I'll read every newspaper out there, liberal, libertarian, conservative. So it's a Middle Eastern issue. So I went to a Middle Eastern paper, the Israeli Times, and sure enough, it said that Iran coordinated the attacks with Qatar, so nobody would get hurt. And I was like, yeah, these people that believe MSNBC, Al Jazeera, and Hamas aren't going to believe this because it's the Israeli Times. So I waited till I got home and I looked up some more and I found Reuters. And this is what Reuters says right now, June 23rd. Iran coordinated its strikes on U.S. bases in Qatar, prompting airspace closure, a source familiar with the matter told Reuters on Monday. The New York Times, which first reported the coordination, said Iran took the actions to minimize casualties. So how did I know this? I am no prophet. I did a video a couple days ago where I explained how I've been able to predict these strikes pretty accurately and what's going on. Rush Limbaugh used to call it experience combined with intelligence. I don't have much intelligence, but I have a lot of experience, so it compensates. And I pay attention to what's going on. Trump is an anti-war president. No matter what the Democrats are trying to tell you, he's still an anti-war president, and J.D. Vance is still an anti-war vice president, no matter what the liberal lying media is trying to tell you. So in Trump's first term, when he took out Soleimani, the whole world, the Democrats, the usual fearmongers on YouTube trying to get views, and the fearmongers on the news trying to get you to hate Trump, we're saying this is going to cause World War III. There's going to be an uprising. What did Iran do? They told us they were going to bomb one of our bases, shot some missiles. We shot them out of the sky, and that was it. So why do they do this? This is the question my son asked me. I said they do this to save face. It's kind of like, imagine Mike Tyson beats the crap out of a guy in front of his girlfriend. And then the guy the next day calls up Mike and says, "Hey Mike, I don't want no trouble, man. I know I can't take you, but can you let me just come over and punch you in the arm a couple times so I could tell my girlfriends I struck back?" And then Mike, being a nice guy, says, "Yeah, come on." So the guy comes over and he gives him a couple. He goes, "I'm going to let you know what's coming so you don't get hurt, Mike." And Mike's like, "No, go ahead." He's like, "Well, I'm going to punch you. I'm going to give you 2 left jabs in your left arm, and then if you let me give you 1 right cross in your right arm, but I won't hit that hard." And Mike says, "Okay." And then the guy goes back to his girlfriend. He's like, "Man, I let Mike Tyson have it. I really tore him up." That's Iran. I'm sure on their state-controlled media now, they're telling the people they unleashed a vicious attack on the U.S. military base in Qatar. But the reality is they tapped out. They basically told Trump, "We don't want any part of you guys. Just, we're letting you know, we're shooting these missiles so you could shoot them out of the sky." And we didn't even have to do it. Qatar did it for us. Nobody got hurt. There was no damage. And it's done. So all this fear mongering is going to be World War III. Trump's going to get us into another Iraq, another Afghanistan. I told you all week. I told you last week. I told you from the beginning of this thing. That's ridiculous. Iran is basically a third world country with a very weak military that Israel freaking decimated for the past couple weeks. They don't want nothing to do with the greatest military ever known to mankind, the United States military. That's a fact. I would be more worried about all the terrorists that Joe Biden let in over the 4 years that he just kept our borders open for political reasons. I'd be more worried about that. And I'm sure there's sleeper cells planning attacks, but Iran has no money to pay these guys and fund them now because we devastated them. So they're probably actually less of a threat now, but they're still a threat. But I'm telling you this not because I want to say I told you so, not because I want to come on here and talk politics. Since I started talking about this last week, I lost like 60 subscribers. This weekend was brutal. People sending me hate mail. And, I thought back in the day when I would say nice things about Pope Francis and explain how he was taken out of context, people would get mad. When I said things about Trump, people would get mad and unsubscribe. But man, you say one nice thing about Israel, man, and that hate comes out. It's kind of scary. And I made a video about why it was in our interest to take out nukes from lunatic terrorists. Iran's a death cult, Why it was in our interest to take these nukes out, And all people keep doing is keep bringing up Israel and Jews. It's like, I'm not even talking about Israel. I'm talking about us. It's kind of weird, And the same people that don't believe J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, and the Israeli government, they'll be quick to repeat news that Hamas reports to MSNBC. So part of me wants to do this to clarify the truth. But the main thing is I hate seeing people fearful. I know a lot of young people live in anxiety. And I know there's a lot of young people that are really smart and are better Catholics and know more about Catholicism than me on YouTube. But when it comes to stuff like this, they're very naive and they're fearful and they're reporting their fear to you and they're making you fearful. So I want to stop this because the Bible tells us, 2 Timothy 1:7, for God did not give us a spirit of timidity, but a spirit of power and love and self-control. So don't quench that Holy Spirit. Don't quench it. Embrace it. And know that you have a Holy Spirit in you that gives you power and a sound mind and love. In fact, 1 John 4:18 tells us this. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. For fear has to do with punishment, and he who fears is not perfected in love. We love, this is going to 19, because he first loved us. I heard this acronym years ago, what fear is. False evidence appearing real. Everybody's telling you, oh, this is going to be World War III. This is false. They have no evidence of this. The evidence is Donald Trump is an anti-war president. Why did he take out the Iran nuke sites? Because they said they were going to use it to take us out. When you have, for 40 years, they've been saying death to America, And earlier I said, they want no part in fighting us. And you said, well, Rob, you said that in your other video, they've been at war with us for 40 years. Yes, but they've been doing cowardly. They've been getting their proxy terrorist savages like Hamas, the Islamic Jihad, the Houthis, Hezbollah. They've been using them to kill us. This is how they do it. But thanks to our friends, the Israelis, they decimated our enemies. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Remember that? Well, our friends destroyed these Iran proxies that have been killing Americans for decades. But we took out their nuke sites because for decades they've been saying death to America. And their leader publicly has said on more than one occasion, death to America isn't only our slogan, it's our policy. It's our policy to kill Americans. And we know they were close to getting a nuke. And we had a short window since Israel did us the favor and sacrificed their soldiers to wipe out their air defense. We had a short window to take it out, completely annihilate it, set them back decades. It was a short window. They would have been able to get their air defense back up eventually. So that's why we took the window. But it's done. In fact, my son just sent me a Truth Social from Trump. he was thanking the Iranians for giving them notice. He said, I just want to thank Iran for giving us notice. Hopefully they got all their hate out and it's done. He's like, yeah, they needed to do this. Let them do it. We're not going to retaliate. And you have all these fear mongers on TV and on social media saying, oh, this is the beginning. This is the beginning. I knew he poked this bear. It's not a bear. If anything, it's a teddy bear, a stuffed little teddy bear. It's not a bear. So we're the bear. We're the eagle. So anyway, don't be afraid. Don't listen to these fear mongers. And some of them, I think, especially the Catholic ones, they're scared themselves. So they're pushing they're trying to warn you because they're scared. And they think they're reporting truth, but they don't know how to get the truth. Their sources are bad. You know, they're repeating MSNBC, NBC, ABC that repeats Hamas, you know. So, but now I'm sure the other guys are going to follow suit now that Reuters came out a couple hours ago and reported what I reported on this afternoon that I got from the Israeli Times. But anyway, don't be fearful. This is not a forever war. We voted for Trump and JD because they've been against forever wars. Who are you going to believe, them or the Democrats that run the media, or the Hamas terrorists, or the Iranian terrorists? Come on, think about it. God bless and stay Catholic.